Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the reunion of Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast. I'm your host, Kyrosis, and joining me today is my amazing co host, Viz. Once again, how are you, Viz?
Greetings, everyone. I'm fine, thank you. Pretty good holiday.
I was just about to ask you how your holiday has been going, what you've been up to during the holiday.
Not much. Just one dinner with my father and one dinner with mother and the rest of the family.
Hmm.
That's about it. Nothing too fancy. Just a little get together, having fun, and drinking, eating. Yeah, that's about it.
That's the same with me. Spending a lot of time with my family and a lot of eating, a lot of
Hmm.
drinking, a lot of just, good time spent. Yeah, but it's been really busy as well. Just, like driving around and visiting everybody because everybody kind of in my family anyway are located in different areas. So I've had to drive to like each place basically. So a lot of time spent driving and then a lot of time just spent with my family and now we're here and we had to postpone recording a little bit because where we were so busy with our families and we it's important for us to take time to um to do those things as well. So now we're back getting into it again.
Hmm.
And I just want to take a second to shout out to everybody that listened and subscribed to the podcast. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback. So I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's been listening and took the time out to leave us a rating and also to send us an email or just making comments, online, positive comments about the podcast. So we really love that.
Thank you, guys. Very much appreciated.
We are going to be talking about a few things today in our first segment. We are talking about the recently released background trailer on Cloud that we got from the Video Game Awards. There were some new character screenshots that were released as well on the Square Enix website. So we'll be talking about those, giving our opinions on those. And then on our second segment, we will feature a listener mail segment. Actually, we received an email from one of our listeners, Joe, about our favorite funny moments from the original Final Fantasy VII, and if we think that those will make it into the 7 remake. And then also we will be talking about Jump Festa. We're talking about the ESRB or PEGI rating for the game, which was kind of created a little bit of controversy there. And also the recently released information, I guess, about the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo coming to the PSN and more. All right, so our first segment, we're talking about the Cloud trailer that we got from the Video Game Awards. So, what we got basically, it gave us a different look at Cloud as our main character. I found that it had a lot of like more fast, choppy scenes. For example, if you slow them down, you can kind of pick out some finer details. And I know that when I slowed it down and I was watching, there was one scene that showed a grunt, which was awesome. I was like, yes. um, Super stoked about that. I know it's something super simple, but just seeing them um, like that, like in HD, and it was awesome.
But it's quite interesting that we've seen the grunts earlier also. I think it was
Yes.
in this Symphonic Reunion trailer, as far as I remember. A very, very short scene where Barrett was shooting the guy, Cloud also attacked, and then the grunt did some sort of retaliation attack with
Oh,
Cloud
really?
dodging out of the way, yes. And
Oh,
it's the only, and the first and the only instance we've seen dodge um, damage pop up,
mechanic or
so to speak.
whatever.
Yeah, not the mechanic, but also dodge the text on screen.
Oh, okay.
So that's enemies can dodge out of the way, and it actually tells you they dodged.
Oh, cool.
Maybe they removed that again. I don't know, but it was very very interesting. All right, back to the trailer.
No, it's fine. I did not realize that actually. So I didn't actually watch that one in slow motion like this one. And also it was quite a while ago, so I probably just forgot.
Most likely, yes.
Um, I really like the voice acting in this trailer. I thought that it's not that it's been the voice acting's been improved. It's just I think that the mixing is better now, like the sound editing, like the production is there, and the voices just seem better. Like they seem like they fit the characters better. I don't know if you also get that, but if you go back and you watch the trailer from like 2015, they don't sound that great. Like it sounds weird. I don't know how to explain it, but they just don't sound like they're matching the character. It's really bizarre, but this sounds like it's more professional because I think it's been mixed and it's been like the sound production value is higher now because it's so close to being released. So,
That's surely one point, but another is that other people also pointed out that here they're probably taken out of the game directly, not just trailers
oh,
with
right.
voiceovers just
Right.
for the trailer. So
Mhm.
that's more organically incorporated. It's also something Maximilian Dude mentioned in this
Mhm.
demo behind closed doors. There, the voice acting was almost perfect. It's flowed so naturally. All the discussions and the dialogue flowed pretty well. And in the trailers, it was kind of weird. It felt off at times. And when he made his video about this trailer or the segment from his live stream, he also mentioned that this is exactly how it sounded in the demo he saw behind closed doors.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's this disconnect between voiceover and trailer recorded separately or cut and edited separately instead of taking the voice recording and the scenes directly from the game where it actually fits. So that's most likely the reason.
Yeah, I forgot about that actually. I'm thinking like when back then they actually did just do like they recorded the voices and then they like did a dub basically instead of the
Exactly.
actual voice acting from the game. Um because I'm sure they just wanted to release the trailer like really quickly and that part of the game might not have been finished, so they just like got
hmm
them in the studio to kind of do a quick
Yep.
little thing or whatever.
Most
Um
likely, yes.
all right, so the music as well, matching the scenes perfectly. I think the music sounds great.
I love this. There's so much visual and audio connections.
Mhm.
Like, for example, when Cloud performs this cross slash,
Right.
each hit fits with the music's beat. That's awesome. And also when Barrett berates Cloud and Jesse about planet suffering and stuff, then the two short screens with the Mako reactor erupting and the girl's eyes
Mhm.
also were exactly matched with his speech, like crying out the first one and in pain the second one.
Right.
It's really rhythmic. The whole trailer, I love it.
Did we get a little bit of the Shinra theme at the beginning of this one that we never heard before?
Yes, that's a new edition we've never heard before. That's true. I was also almost dumbfounded or flabbergasted, if you will. It's like,
But
whoa,
it sounded
a
so
new
good and
theme.
it felt so right to
Yes.
me that I didn't. I mean, I realized it, but it was so good, like perfectly mixed in there
hmm
that I was just like,
It fits perfectly.
yeah, like I didn't realize it till after the trailer was done. And then I was like, oh my God, I think that was the first
Yeah.
time that we've heard the new version of the Shinra theme. So then I had to go back and I watched it like 10 more times.
Me too. And it sounded also really menacing. I loved it.
Yeah. There was a part too when Jessie, what does she say? She says something to Cloud after the one of the bridges collapse and then he
And he
just
also almost falls down. What did he say again?
he jumps up and she's like, "Wow, that's so
Yeah,
cool." And he's
yeah.
like, "Yeah."
Wow, that was pretty cool. Tell
Yeah,
me
and
again.
he's just like smirks.
Yep. But the interesting thing is the first part of the smirk is the cocky smirk, but then he looks away and he kind of blushes a little bit. I feel
Mhm.
that's so the real Cloud kind of uh,
Yeah,
s- gets through the seams a little bit.
that was
So
great.
that's really cool. The subtleties are extremely extremely great, well made.
Yeah, people online were like, they changed that part of the game because like
hmm
that's not when the bridge fell in the original or something. And I'm just like, it's a trailer that's been cut up and kind of
Yeah.
put back together, like, just because you're seeing a trailer doesn't mean that these are how the events are going to play out in the game, like the order of the trailer. Do you know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like I was just like, "Oh, okay." But I mean, you're just watching a trailer. It's not That's not how.
Yeah, the thing is, even if it's the same, even if it's at the point where they expect it to be, the cut the trailer cutting is also different. A few scenes are missing, and the whole
Mhm.
context is also missing, so it
Exactly.
probably flows much better if in the full game. And they need to change things up a little bit to
Exactly.
catch us off guard and
Mhm.
include a few more interesting takes on the scenes, because a one-to-one remake is would be pretty boring. And this is also something I will bring up in my upcoming analysis. That this I'm pretty sure they will try to foreshadow an event happening later
Right.
and making us think that, oh, Cloud made it that time, so he's going to make it too this time, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked for that.
Yeah, so we got many new glimpses of the scenes from the bombing mission, very accurate depictions there. So I'm super happy
Hmm.
about that. Um, there was more dialogue about the promise, like this, what they were actually saying.
Hmm.
What did you think about that?
First, I love that they reference the promise, so that they talk about the promise in that room has come true. That's something
Mm-hmm.
I predicted back then. And well, probably not me, others too, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure. But I've also heard some people theorize about it. I think especially Soldier First Class in his video about this trailer, that this is also some sort of meta commentary, or
Right.
could be. So that Cloud talks about a promise made long ago, and that's why he has to stay. And this
Mm-hmm.
could be also interpreted as the promise Square Enix made to us, that this remake will come, because when it's out, it will be over, or by now almost it's over 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
this promise has been 7 years ago, so almost matches up. And
Mm-hmm.
FIFA is glad that Cloud is here and here to stay, and we as fans, we're also very glad Cloud is back and here to stay. So
Uh-huh.
it's either coincidental or maybe deliberately written in that way to so that they could show this in a trailer. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So you've got an analysis video coming up soon.
I hope it is soon, because I only started before the screenshots came out, and the screenshots
Right.
came in between, and I created the articles for that. And yeah, today I will continue with the analysis, and hopefully, maybe in a week. I don't know. Hard to say.
Well, I was sitting with my family over the holidays and I'm just getting like notifications like there's a new video posted from Cosmo Canyon Observatory. And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just sitting down eating and drinking. And you're just like doing all this stuff. I'm like, wow. But then again,
Yeah,
also, aren't you like 6 hours ahead of me?
6 hours
So
ahead. Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's that might have something to do with it too. So you're not exactly, you know, like doing what I'm
Yeah.
doing because you've already done that. So then you're like
Hmm.
working on stuff. Anyway,
Yeah. But to give some more context, the few last videos I uploaded are only excerpts from the character analysis, the live analysis from, I don't know, 1 or 2 months ago.
okay.
I still haven't finished, or I finished posting them yesterday, and I barely need any time to do those. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
uh, change the text in the intro, insert the new part of the analysis, render, and upload. It's maybe 30, 40 minutes of work, so that's no problem to also do that over the holidays. However, I refrained from uploading anything on 25th and 26th to give people time. So,
Yeah,
but now I'm done with that, and now I need some more filler material between game analysis episodes.
right. Yeah, that's also why we kind of postponed recording the podcast as well. Well, you weren't
Mm.
feeling that great and I was exhausted and also just everybody just needed a break, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I didn't get much of a break, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had to finish the articles.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you, being so committed and
Thank you.
doing all of those things.
Mhm.
So it says here that you hope that there's no new info or footage before the launch trailer. Is this true?
That's true, and only for one reason, because we've already seen so much material,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing even more just takes away from the experience for seeing those scenes and
Right.
moments for the first time.
I want to know more. Like, I want to see more, but it's just for my own selfishness. Like, it's not
Yes, true.
because anybody else needs to see more. I just want to see more and more because I just love this game so much. I haven't even played it. Obviously, it's not out yet, but I'm so excited for it that I
Yeah, same.
just, yeah. But I agree with you. I kind of feel the same, but I kind of do
Mhm.
want more, but I kind of don't as well because I don't want anything to be spoiled. So,
Yeah, we haven't seen a few characters yet. For example,
mm-hmm,
Rufus,
mm-hmm,
Scarlet, Palmer, Hojo, maybe even more. I can't remember right now. Of course, Red 13.
mm-hmm.
But on one hand, I kind of want to discover them when I'm playing the game, and
Same,
they're all most likely not being shown until maybe 80-90% into the story. So
right.
revealing end game stuff isn't really something I'm hoping for, like they did with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was just about to say. We might not get anything else until like the official release trailer. So,
Maybe not even then. I hope so because
exactly.
yeah, revealing too much isn't really positive in my book.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another reason when if they release more screenshots, more trailers, I have even more to do. So I'm already swamped with my huge backlog, and it's
Yeah,
also a little bit of a selfish reason to hope for nothing, so I get more time to work on things. But yeah,
right.
well, I guess as always.
Well, the more things there are, the more that we have to do here on the podcast too. So,
Hmm. That's true.
moving on to our next part, we're talking about the screenshots that were released on the official Square Enix website. We had some screenshots released that feature Sephiroth, President Shinra, Heidegger, Roche, Aerith, Shiva, some exploration, locations, and Tifa. And then you released 3 articles on the livestream.net analyzing those screenshots. So anybody that wants to go ahead and check those out, it's the livestream.net. So we're not going to go into a crazy amount of detail about the screenshots. We're just kind of going to give a brief overview and our thoughts, I guess, about the screenshots. So looking at the Sephiroth screenshot, um, you said that it looks like he's in President Shinra's office.
Definitely, yeah. It's pretty obvious if you look at the details in his
Right.
office.
It looks like it's like you said, but it's like that. It's like the cutscene. There's a cutscene in one of the trailers. It's like if you were to flip it the other direction, then that's what you would see, kind of. Do you know what I mean? If the camera wasn't on President Shinra's face, then you would flip it and.
I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure that the screenshots with President Shinra and Heidegger are from a previous scene where they're talking about the plate fall, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I just meant
Where
there's one where he's sitting at his desk in his office.
yes, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he looks like serious and that has this
Mm-hmm.
stern look and determined look, and I don't think that's a look you have when you see something that has been dead for 5 years returning with sword drawn. So
That's true. So
yeah.
people were talking about multiple materials being equipped on Sephiroth, and then people were kind of counting how many they could see online. I think
Hmm.
somebody said there's 7.
There are, yes, because someone on Reddit used some AI upscaler of sorts, and then you can
Yeah.
clearly see one big green and two smaller yellow ones in the belt buckle itself, and then there are 4 feathers dangling from the belt buckle, and each one has also one materia, 3 green and one uh, was it purple? I think the
Yeah.
lighting was a bit weird because the green ones looked blue, sort
Mhm.
of, but this doesn't make sense because the blue ones you need for linking up with green, red, and yellow ones. So most likely just a lighting issue where green turns to blue.
Yeah, it looks like there's kind of like a bluish green hue in
Mm.
the environment, like in the room, because of the lights that are glowing
Mm.
through the windows. So
It's also pretty dark, so
yeah.
that changes colors.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Roche
Mhm.
named as a
New name.
character with a description. Yeah, is that how you pronounce it?
I think so, Roche, because Roach doesn't really make much sense because The
Yeah.
Witcher, the horse there is spelled Roach,
Oh, I see. Okay.
so Roche makes more sense in my opinion. French would probably pronounce it like Roche,
Yeah, exactly. That's
but
why I was thinking it was
uh,
Roche, but
Roche.
I've just been saying Roche.
Roche is probably correct because Roche would be Rosh,
Hmm.
most likely. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's soldier third class.
Mm-hmm.
I know there were people online that were talking about how he might be kind of another character from one of the compilation games that was kind of reworked, I guess, for this, like as a new character for the remake.
Mm.
But I guess not.
Nope. And I also tried to find evidence for that in one of my analysis videos, I think episode 16,
Hmm.
but I came to the conclusion that it's a new one, a new character
Right.
also.
He's a speed demon.
Yep. and the and the description says third class soldier turned rebel,
Oh,
known as speed demon. That's kind of caught my eye a bit. Maybe it's someone that turns to Avalanche, or at least turns on to Cloud side
okay.
towards the end. Maybe helps us out, or this is just he has just a rebellious nature and he's just a villain. I don't know, but that would be lame, kind of.
It's pretty funny that it says that his comrades find him annoying because he
Hmm.
constantly squeals his tire.
Yeah. So he
Oh
doesn't
my
make much
god.
friends.
That's so ridiculous.
Doesn't make many
Wow.
friends. So that's also a one hint, or at least a tiny bit of evidence that he might not be that loyal to Shinra.
Right.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, and then we got some new screenshots from the train graveyard.
Yep, mainly with Aerith in battle, but
Yeah.
also with Shiva in battle, and the most beautiful one is the overview over
Uh-huh.
parts of the train graveyard, which has grown quite a bit, I must say. It has a new building and everything. I'm really looking forward to walking through this
Right.
new area.
I'm interested to see how they kind of extend this part because in the
Mhm.
original there wasn't that much to do in this area.
Nope.
So it looks like they've expanded on it and they might have added some side quests or something for this area. It looks
I
like.
hope so. There are at least more story scenes with Aerith and the ghosts,
Right.
and a scene in the train. Instead of just jumping in and activating a train, we actually get the
Mm-hmm.
cutscene the first time, I think. And we also see some parts of exploration where Cloud is, where we steer Cloud because the command menu is activated. But
Right.
Aerith and Tifa go about their ways alone, or they're not just tagging along behind
Yeah.
Cloud.
It looks like
Pretty
they're
cool.
just kind of looking out over.
Mhm. Looking probably into the direction the our target indicator here
Right.
um, goes. It's north northwest, it seems. Yeah,
And we got a look at the mini map. Is this the first time?
that's the first time a proper look at the minimap. We got a small glimpse in a few frames in the Scorpion Sentinel battle
Right.
from the E3 footage, but it's only a few frames, and most of it is missing. We don't see the Scorpion Sentinel. We don't see the surroundings. Um,
Right. It looks like it shows where I guess your footsteps kind of stay there and then they disintegrate, yeah, after time. And then the bigger blue dots obviously are Aerith and Tifa, but then you get a marker that shows, I guess that's your quest
mhm, main
marker,
quest
main quest,
marker.
yeah.
I don't know, optional quests, we haven't seen that, but we've seen the main quest marker in the demo, where it pops up to the top right in the TGS 2019 stage demo, I think it was. Yeah, had the
Right.
same marker.
And then we got some Shiva screenshots showing that Heavenly Strike is a confirmed ability, which
Yes.
is awesome. I know that was in 10 where
Yep.
she formed a giant glacier,
Hmm.
and then just slams it down on the enemy, which is
Yep.
pretty awesome.
I'm pretty stoked that they also take abilities from other games that Final Fantasy VII never
Uh-huh.
had. It's pretty cool.
Uh-huh. It's like a mishmash of a bunch of
Yep.
the abilities and also just the system to like the stagger systems from 13.
Yep. Or at least parts of it.
Parts of it, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Not the exact same, but
Yeah. I'm glad.
and then we got an interesting look at Aerith and some new abilities. So, obviously we've seen Tempest before.
Hmm.
They described that you can actually hold triangle to charge an attack, and then what'll happen is over time it will explode, I
Yeah.
guess.
As far as I can tell, is if you just press triangle, she will just throw the crystal projectile at the enemy, and it will just explode once
Right.
after 3 seconds, I think. And if you charge it up, it will explode multiple times, as seen
Okay.
against apps boss battle.
And then we got a look at Soul Drain, which
Hmm.
absorbs MP from an enemy.
Exactly, that's really important for mage types, as they describe
Uh-huh.
it. It also damages the enemy, and a small percentage of that is converted into MP. That's also can also be seen in the apps fight.
And then we got another look at another new ability. It's Lustrous Shield.
Yes, that's something I'm pretty intrigued of.
Same.
It says it will damage enemies when they connect, and also ward off projectiles.
Oh, really?
But yes, it's a little further down, I think. Where
Oh,
is it?
yeah, you're right. It does. It says any attackers who come into contact with the shield will take damage.
Hmm.
And then it
And
says that it keeps enemies at bay and blocks projectiles.
exactly, yes. But
And
I'm not sure if stays just for maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds,
mm-hmm.
or if it's damage based. It has a maybe HP pool of 1,000, and if it's depleted, it goes away. And
Right.
if it's just stays stationary or follows the character it's cast on, it's so many questions.
Yeah, because you know the original when you can cast like the abilities and they would show little icons. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like
Yep.
status ailment or whatever. Like I don't see that in the screenshot.
No, it's definitely not a status effect. Yeah.
Like it's not a status effect. So that's interesting.
What's also interesting is they also described her normal attack a little bit better. So it can just press repeatedly or hold the square button to just uh, consecutively throw those light balls against
Oh,
enemies.
okay.
And if you keep doing it, the radius of the ball of light explosions increase, and also
Okay.
the amount of targets. So in this screenshot, you can see that the first projectile she launches at the middle enemy bounces off towards the enemy on the right and then
Oh.
explodes. So
Oh,
it bounces
cool.
back and forth between enemies if you keep doing it. So the amount of targets or bounce off targets increase, and the radius and damage also, as you've seen in the apps fight, the damage continuously increases.
Right.
It's pretty cool. But also there's a drawback. Aerith can't move in this during this, I suppose.
Okay.
And if there are enemies attacking her, she will get interrupted and take damage. So that's probably the drawback. Cloud and Tifa or whoever is in the group with Aerith have to draw enemy fire away or just protect Aerith so that she can just keep going with the normal attack or do other stuff.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if they do have like end up being able to unlock an ability like that, how they you know how sometimes when you have a tank and then they take damage for you because they call on the enemies to attack them.
Yeah, right. The aggro pulling, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
called. That's something I hope Barrett has
Yeah,
because he seems to be the tank, and he needs to have some taunting abilities or something like
exactly.
that to draw the enemies towards him. He also already has the steel skin. Yes, steel skin it's
Okay.
called. That reduces damage and the possibility or the probability that he gets staggered or hit stunned.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
And the animation for the lustrous shield looks awesome. It's like
Definitely.
a flower.
Huge flower shield,
Yeah, and you
almost as
can
big
see
as
the
Aerith.
petals kind of flying around, and the just
Mhm.
the particle effects and everything looks really
The, uh,
amazing.
the flower theme and flower symbolism is all over Aerith's ability.
Yeah.
Some cherry blossoms fly all around her when she charges up the Tempest
Hmm.
ability, and I think I've seen it too in right, the sacred circle or holy circle as it's
Oh
called
yeah.
in you can see in the apps boss fight too, and
Hmm.
she generates a circle on the bottom, and there's also this flower symbol ring around it.
Hmm.
It's flower pattern. So everything has something to do with flowers with Aerith.
Like as a character, she's gone through a lot of changes, I think, for the remake.
Mm.
Based on compared to the other characters from the original, I mean.
Yeah, some, yeah.
Just because before she would just attack physically with her weapon,
Yeah.
and she did obviously like was a healer, so healed everybody and buffed people, like buffed
Hmm.
the party, but it just seems like this is the biggest changes, I guess, like the biggest departure from the other characters, because when you look
Yeah.
at Tifa, I mean, obviously you know that she's going to be punching people,
Punching, kicking, yeah.
and most of her abilities are similar. Obviously they added a new mechanic where she powers up her attack and stuff like that, but anyway, it's super interesting.
I'm pretty sure the reason for that is that they needed two close quarters and two long range fighters.
Mhm.
So they turned Aerith into a long range fighter because it doesn't do much good for her to run up to the enemy and
Exactly.
hit him with the stick, because now it's action based and
Uh-huh.
distance and positioning matters. So Aerith needs to be in the back, and the
Yeah.
only thing they could do about it is make her long range,
Yeah.
which also makes sense because she's an ancient and maybe there are some innate powers in her with all the connection to the planet.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It makes the most sense.
Hmm. Definitely.
And then we got some location screenshots, the Shinra Tower from the outside, and then we had some from the inside of the tower. So there is one that has a bunch of Shinra cars.
Hmm. With the escape vehicle on display.
That's awesome. Yeah. And they have another floor called the relaxation floor,
Hmm.
which is the
Floor
one that,
61.
yeah. So the one that had all of the vegetation, and you can
Hmm.
see there's a cafeteria and there's a tree in the middle,
Hmm.
which I think we got to look at earlier, but it was just from a different angle.
Yes, from up below, we saw Cloud running past it in
Yes.
the E3 trailer towards the end.
So it'll be interesting to see if like that cafeteria is actually open and if you can buy items there or something.
I hope so. Would be cool. Because just running through, get the key card and run away, and one floor above, that would be very anticlimactic.
Uh-huh.
Definitely. At least have us do one side quest or buy stuff at the cafeteria or watch some propaganda on the screen back there. Just something.
Yeah.
Also, what I noticed is the huge window wall or wall of windows
Oh,
on the
yes.
right side.
Yeah.
From there, I hope we get a very great view on Midgar sectors, probably 1 and 8, if my
Mm-hmm.
estimations are correct. So then we also get a view on the destroyed reactor and what we've caused, what damages we've caused.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not too much longer to see all of this in the game.
Yep.
How many days? I forget.
Oh.
72 days, I think.
Oh,
That's
hang
not
on. The livestream.net has a timer on there.
not too much longer. It might be less than 72.
65 days, 6
Wow.
hours, 37 minutes, and
Oh my
0
gosh.
seconds.
2 months and
Yes.
5 days. All right, guys. So if you guys want to check out the 3 articles on the livestream.net that Viz did analyzing those screenshots, that would be awesome. So if you want more information about that, you can go to the livestream.net.
Yes.
All right, guys. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're talking about our most, I guess, funniest moments that we're looking forward to in the remake and hoping that they will be actually put in the remake. And then also, we will be talking about Jump Festa, the ESRB rating, and some more information about the game after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Reunion Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast. I'm your host, Kyrosis, and I have Viz here joining me again today. This is episode 4. So, our second segment, we are answering a listener mail question. I'm just going to quickly read the email that I received from one of our amazing listeners, Joe, and then we'll go ahead and answer that question. So, this is the email from Joe. Hey, guys, this is Joe. Just wanted to congratulate you on another great episode. Really enjoying listening to your discussions on the remake and looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the screenshots that we just talked about. One of the many things I love about Final Fantasy VII is the humor in the game. The emotional impacts of the more serious scenes are fantastic, but I'm a believer in finding humor in even the most dire situations. Personally, I'm hoping that they will keep one of my favorite lines, although we won't see it probably until the next part or the next release of the game. That line is Cloud to Barrett en route to Costa del Sol. He says, "You look like a bear wearing a marshmallow." That the
That's
reason I
funny.
love it, yeah, same. The reason I love it is because it's a real glimpse into how much of a little, you know what, Cloud actually is. Everybody seems to remember his kind of pensive, brooding side, largely down to Kingdom Hearts, I think. But he has a wicked sense of humor, and this line really demonstrates that. So the question that I posed to you guys is, what's your favorite funny moment from the game, and do you think it'll make it into the remake? Keep up the great work, and thanks for making the podcast, Joe. All
Hmm.
right, so that's a great question.
Definitely, yes.
I went ahead and just made a list of things that I thought. Obviously, I made a bunch, so I don't know if we'll get like have time to go into all of them. But one of them was when the group had to disguise themselves as Shinra infantry, which was on disc 1 of the original game. The party sneaks aboard the ship in Junon to cross the ocean to Costa del Sol. So, in order to blend in, they all dress up in some Shinra uniforms that just happen to be lying on the ground, by the
Yep.
way. Um, so, most of them
Uh,
pulled it off pretty well, except 2 of them, however, I mean, it's up for debate. Basically, Red 13, is an animal. So
Four-legged
his
animal, yes.
yeah, so his snout is sticking out. And obviously there's a problem with his very obvious tail. And then
Mhm.
also he walks like he's a four-legged animal trying to walk on 2 feet, so it just makes it even more amusing. But he thinks he looks fine, but clearly he's an animal
Definitely.
in a
And
costume. So
something interesting is also that the soundtrack that plays on that ship is called "It's Difficult to Stand on Both Feet," isn't it? So that's a jab at Red 13 that's just bumbling around
wow.
as it's a extremely drunken furry sailor or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, for that for me is just I'm not sure how it's gonna work. I hope it makes it in. I think that
It
if
should.
they
It should.
I think so too. Like I think
Mhm.
that it can, but I think that they just need to leave it. Like they just need to poke fun at themselves,
Mhm.
because the game is really dark. And if they
Mhm.
change it so they keep the serious tone the whole time, then
Yes.
it might be a little daunting.
Contrast. Contrast is also very important because really a haunting and uh, pretty violent scene follows
Mhm.
after,
Mhm.
with some other Shinra soldiers being cut down and Sephiroth appearing and all that stuff. And to kind of create that contrast, you need to present something really funny, silly, something you can't really take serious, and then it suddenly shifts, and then it has much more impact. Instead of
Mhm.
if the game is broody and dire and dark all the time, then it gets stale and you get jaded after some time. That's really well made in the original.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is that these moments in the original kind of balanced that dark and kind of negative atmosphere from what was
Mm.
actually happening in the game, like, and I really enjoyed that because, like you said, if you're just dealing with all of the negative and the brooding kind of, dark atmosphere the entire time, then it kind of it's a lot to handle.
Mm.
So they did a really good job breaking that up in the original, and I think that they're going to keep it the same, hopefully.
I hope so too.
And then another one that I said, my next funniest moment for me was when Palmer gets hit by a truck.
Oh yeah, that's ex-
I'm saying it out
unexpected.
loud and I'm like, oh gosh. So once the party reaches Rocket Town, they decide to give Palmer a stressful day at work. So Palmer, who's stealing the tiny Bronco, is intercepted by the crew in the game who demand the tiny vehicle. Palmer doesn't take this sitting down like very lightly, so instead he engages the party in an epic battle during which he does a little jig while shooting Cloud.
Mm.
Before long, Palmer begins mocking the party, only to have the tiny Bronco begin to roll towards him as he isn't paying attention. And fortunately for him, he ducks just in time. He manages to run away, but he actually gets hit by a truck on the way.
just just out of nowhere, and the truck is
Right?
never to be seen anywhere. I don't know. It's just so funny because it's not impossible.
You're just
Doesn't make
like,
any sense.
what?
Yeah,
It's like they were just like, okay, we don't know where else to go with this character, so let's
yeah.
just.
Just run him over with the truck that comes out of nowhere. That's okay. Do it.
Oh my gosh, it's just
Oh,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing it and I'm like, you're just like, okay.
Well,
So
that
that just
happened.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
uh
boy.
and obviously the honeybee in the cross-dressing scene, obviously, we're all looking forward to that and what they're going to do with that moment because it is quite funny and kind of ridiculous in the original game because you have to do side quests to get the best, like the most beautiful wig, right?
Mhm.
Like you did. And then you have to go into a gym and there's a bunch of dudes standing around watching you and they're all wearing like leotards.
It's
Like,
yeah, it's just the whole wall market is ridiculous, but it's so
right?
great.
It's
So well
great,
made,
but
yeah.
it's just like and he's doing like the squats mini game, and then they're
Mhm.
just like all standing around
Yeah.
watching, and then it's just like, why is the wig there? Like, why do?
What wasn't Big Bro also a cross-dresser
Oh,
who
was
has wigs?
I
I
can't
think
is
so.
that why? Well,
I
I
think so,
can't
yeah.
remember now, but I was just like remember thinking like, oh, okay, like
Yeah, it was
they,
first time I played, I also didn't really get it, but I just went along anyway. It
yeah,
was fun.
same. Like you're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Because the field model of Big Bro kind of looks like a small woman. I don't know. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
it looks weird, but it's also those polygons sometimes didn't
Yes,
really make much sense, so you could
exactly.
interpret it the way you wanted to. So I'm really stoked to see and looking forward to seeing Big Bro how he looks like. He, she, whatever. I don't know. I don't really care. It's just character
Yeah,
is great. That's enough.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what about you for your
Um,
funniest moments that you want?
First, I have to agree that those are indeed funny, but I've also picked up a few smaller ones,
Mhm.
like meeting KHG at the Gold Source at the first time, because you
Mhm.
don't expect anything. You just get into the which one was it? The Fortune Square, or however it's called, where you have all those mini games,
Right.
and he just stands there, talks to you, uh, talks you up, and makes fortune cookies, whatever he does with his free time. I don't know, just out of the blue, and Cloud doesn't really know how to deal with the situation. It's just just goes along, and all those fortunes don't really pan out. One
Mhm.
seems to be legit, and then it kind of switches the mood a little bit because I think uh, you reach something. I don't know how the quote goes, but you reach something, but you lose something dear in the process, or something like
Mhm.
that. It's
It's
just some
yeah.
trade-off that actually happens later, but you don't know anything about that.
Mhm.
So just chalk it up to, well, that's just a weird fortune teller doesn't really know what he's doing, and just don't pay any mind. It's subtle and perfect foreshadowing. It's really cool. But just the I don't know. It's just some robot cat on a Moogle just there talking you up, giving fortunes, and forcing itself into the party. And Cloud just,
Yes.
well, okay, this happened. Yeah, just come along. I don't care. Let's just keep going. Right?
That was kind of
Just-
weird for me, and just kind of ridiculous too when I was
yeah,
playing it. I'm like, and because the polygons were so big and blocky, like I couldn't really
hmm
make out what it was.
not much. Yeah,
Like I knew, but because other people told me, so you know what I
I
mean.
see.
But I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's just yeah. I remember experiencing that. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And then the second one is in Wutai,
Hmm.
where we have to chase down Yuffie because she stole our materia. And first, we need to find her. Well, easier said than done. It's her hometown. We have no idea. And we're just going around and opening chests. And she just comes, robs us clean, and goes again. Like, thanks. And no one wants to sell us anything. So we just have nothing. But I think after getting stolen from two more times, I think she's hiding in a jar next to the turtle's paradise,
Hmm.
and you see it's kind of wobbling a little bit, moving a little bit, and then you can interact with it, hit it a few times, and then Yuffie jumps out and then gets flanked from all sides, and then she finally decides to, okay, okay, I'll show you where the materia is, and you say, oh, finally, stupid mini game, I found her. Then you go in this weird looking basement with, I know, a switch in the back. Oh yeah, sob, that's the switch. There, press it, and it's the material come out. Sob, and the Cloud presses it, and the cage falls down onto the other two party members. And haha, gotcha! You will never get your materia. And she goes up against it. Seriously? Come on, girl. It's just the whole this whole sequence is just I don't know,
Yeah.
comedy gold. I think. I really hope they they even get it one level above for the
Mhm.
remake. It has potential, definitely, but it also has the potential to get more annoying. So I hope they
Right.
balance it out. Yeah, and there's just one small little thing in Icicle Inn. That's after this huge, big tragedy that happened.
Mhm.
Everyone, it's just down, and the atmosphere is in the cellar. And then they reach Aerith's hometown, see the tapes, and then when you want to leave, Eleanor catches up with some guards, some Shinra guards. And then, I got you, and blah blah. And then she wants to punch us, and if we manage to dodge out of the way, she just falls over and rolls down the hill, and the other ones, other ones have to chase after her. This is just out of nowhere something funny where
Uh,
you don't need to, don't really want to laugh because it's not funny here.
no, yeah.
But it's also a great way to just make you smile amongst all this tragedy and
Mhm.
the crap that's going on.
Yeah.
It's that's all. That's what I talked about before. The contrast. You need some funny comic reliefs to lighten up the mood and get you prepared, or get you, how do you say it, get you ready for the next hammer, or else you just get hammered into the ground and then it's not funny anymore. And I have one last thing, and that has to do with Heidegger. And just he himself is a joke, to be honest. But in the remake, it seems to be more serious, so I hope they don't lose that. But this point in time, I also chose Junon and Costa del Sol.
Mhm.
It's before we board the how's it called, the cargo, the freighter
Right.
cargo ship. I think it's just before the parade starts. Heidegger tells the other ones just to do their job, and I think he got shot down by, or talked down to by Rufus, who also leaves. And then he's just fuming and wailing around, and I think he also hits Cloud, but Cloud doesn't budge and just lifts his shoulder, shrugs, and okay, that happened, fine. That's funny, number one. And the two is after they manage to reach Costa del Sol, then again he gets talked down to by Rufus, and he just fumes again and wails around and chases after the sailors who jump into the sea is out of fear from Heidegger. It's just so funny. I hope they keep this in.
Same. I think that I think they're doing a really good job from what we've seen so far about keeping um
Keeping the humor, I think so, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully they can you know, keep it like make it serious. Obviously it was serious back then as well,
Mhm.
but just it was more campy.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm thinking
Definitely.
that
Lighthearted.
now they're yeah, exactly. I think they're going to keep it they're going to do their best basically, keeping it like comedic but also keeping the essence of what the game was into the remake, but we can hope that these
Yes,
moments make it in.
definitely.
So thank you so much to our listener Joe for that question. Hopefully we answered your question.
Yeah, I hope so too. Was a really great question. Was fun.
All right, so we're moving on to news or information about the game. So, Jump Festa happened, and we did not get anything. So that was a bummer.
Nope. Nada. I think they just showed the Tokyo Game Show trailer again, I
They
think,
did.
on the floor. I don't
Yeah.
quite remember. And you could mount the Hardy Daytona again, lift the boss sword,
Mm-hmm.
and shoot some photos, and maybe see and buy merchandise. I think that was it. I don't know. I wasn't there, of course, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, we were kind of talking about this in previous episodes where we weren't sure if we were going to get something at Jump Festa or
Hmm.
not because Video Game Awards were close.
Hmm.
to Jump Festa, and also, but we did say that it was going to be like one or the other because we were thinking that they were keeping with the 3-month kind of release of information.
Exactly.
So we got the trailer from Video Game Awards, which I thought was awesome. There was
Yeah,
a state
definitely.
of play as well, but we didn't get anything. But it was mostly on Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Yeah, and Kingdom
Um,
Hearts Remind DLC too,
yes, yeah,
and Dreams.
yeah,
Was there something about Dreams? The release date got revealed, and some other things I can't quite remember.
same.
Oh, of course, some preview for Ghost of Tsushima, where we got a pretty cool
Oh
trailer at
yeah,
the Game Awards. I'm looking forward to that game.
same.
Looks great.
And then we got ESRB rating and a description, I guess, for like a justification for the rating because
Hmm.
it's rated as a teen game.
Teen
Um,
game is 13 plus, right?
I
I
think
think.
so.
Hang on, let me check again.
In the US,
Doesn't say here. I think it's 13 plus because we have different rating in Europe. That's the PEGI
yes,
rating.
yeah, and it's rated PEGI 16, right, for Europe?
Yes, PEGI 16 because we have PEGI 6, 12, 16, and 18, I believe. And 0. There's also PEGI 0 for everyone.
I'm not sure what it is if it's 13 plus, if that's what teen means. I'm not
It's
sure.
13 and up. I'm on the page where they
Oh,
explain the
okay.
different ratings. It's everyone but 10 plus, and I think below 10 with parental guidance. And teen is 13 up, mature, M is 17 plus, and
Oh, I
AO
see.
is adults only 18 plus. And
Yeah,
there's
that makes
rating
sense.
pending. Yeah, so those.
So we got a little bit more information from the description. So I'll just read the description. So it says this
Yep.
is an action role-playing game in which players follow the story of a mercenary, Cloud Strife, on a quest to save the planet from evil. Players explore the city of Midgar, perform various quests, and battle monsters and soldiers in what does that say?
Frenetic.
Frenetic melee
Yeah.
combat. Oh, sorry.
No
Characters
problem.
use swords, staffs, guns, and magic spells to battle fantastical monsters and human soldiers. Combat is highlighted by cries of pain, impact sounds, boom, and explosions. Cutscenes also depict instances of violence, characters impaled by swords off camera, a man
Ah,
shot repeatedly while on a stairwell. Some female characters wear revealing outfits. One scene depicts a man oogling women's bodies while making suggestive hand gestures and hip movements. Oh my.
hello, Don Corneo.
The game contains some alcohol content, such as ordering something hard and bitter and
Cloud.
watching a character drink, searching for a person at the drunkard's den, watching characters drunk and slurring their speech. One
Oh
cutscene
boy.
depicts a character smoking a cigar, and there are more expletives that appear in the dialogue.
Yeah.
So,
Words with an S, with an A, and a E.
we're keeping it PG here on the
Yeah.
Read and podcast, okay?
Yeah.
So, some interesting things from the description that it kind of caught everybody's eye were, I guess, like one of the characters being impaled by a sword off camera, which was like
That's
the
most likely
first
President
one.
Shinra.
Mm-hmm.
Has to
Yeah.
be.
And then a man shot repeatedly on a stairwell.
Could be
Obviously.
Sector 7
Yes. Yes.
plate pillar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Wedge Bigs, whoever of those. I don't know.
There's the escape as well. Like, there's a chase happening, remember? And they're in the stairwell and they're like shooting and stuff.
Do you
I
mean in the
was,
trailer?
yeah, in the trailer.
Yeah, that's the plate support pillar where they fight for this before it gets
I was thinking that
it crumbles
one of
down.
them
Yeah.
might have gotten shot or something in the stairwell.
Not in the trailer. Just a shot at Cloud was shot at, but nothing explicit there. But I'm pretty sure it's something they haven't shown us yet.
Right. Obviously, some female characters wearing revealing outfits. I mean,
Deep cleavage, it says.
that's a
Yeah.
that's a given.
Yeah. We have
Um,
already seen the Aerith's version of the deep cleavage.
yeah,
And Tifa doesn't really have deep cleavage, but she has this cut uh, cut out part
yeah.
around the
She's
cleavage thing.
it's like a belly top. I mean, she wears like she has a muscle shirt on, but it's like cut in half, basically.
Something like that, yeah. But I also think she has this four corner or rectangle or diamond shaped probably uh, cleavage cutout. If I
Okay.
remember correctly, could be different. I'm not so sure about the original. I think there's somewhere an artwork about her. Maybe I can find it where you keep talking.
Maybe this is referring to Cloud and his revealing outfit.
Does he have a revealing outfit?
I'm joking.
Maybe. Maybe if you get the perfect one, he gets really revealing. He turns into lightning.
It says one scene depicts a man oogling women's bodies,
Yep,
making
that's
suggestive
Tornado,
hand
right?
gestures.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's him, all right.
obviously, yeah.
And hip movements.
um, some alcohol content, obviously, we've seen in the trailer as well. We've seen
Yep.
both of them drinking.
Mm-hmm. And the most interesting or exciting part is the Drunkyard Den, searching for a person that looks like a new side quest, or maybe even main quest. And
Right.
Drunkyard Den, something in a slum somewhere, maybe Sector 5 or even Sector 7. Hard to say. Or maybe even Sector 6 somewhere outside. But I'm really looking forward to that because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, and also just the dialogue. I'm just happy that they kept
Hmm.
the dialogue, like the expletives in the
Yep.
dialogue, you know?
Yeah, the fecal work can already be heard in the Scorpion Sentinel battle, right
Hmm.
at the beginning, where Cloud gets targeted by the targeting reticle from the Scorpion Sentinel. That's when he says that four-lettered word.
Um, some people were raging online because it's only teen.
Mm,
But I mean,
okay,
games have changed a lot since in 1997, you know? Like
that's
it's not
true.
the same, like, and things are more acceptable now than what they were. So, I mean, like, the rating for me, I'm okay with. I think it's
Me
fine.
too. Yeah.
Um, it doesn't say
Well,
anything
like,
about blood. People were upset that
yep,
there's no
exactly,
blood.
exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
So, I
Well, it doesn't
mean,
say explicitly blood, but people have
exactly.
argued that because we don't see blood on a person or flowing from a person, just maybe smeared across the walls and nothing else,
Hmm.
maybe that's not enough for uh, saying that. Maybe it goes under violence, but yeah, it's hard to say. I don't quite understand the exact points they use, or
In the original,
yeah,
wasn't there only blood? There was a trail of blood,
yes,
and that was
that's the
it.
only thing I can think of.
Like no blood comes from any of the enemies when
Nope.
when you destroy the enemies, they just disappear.
Yep, disappear into your live
So
stream.
yeah, like I'm okay with that. I mean,
Hmm.
they might end up showing that, like a trail of blood isn't, somebody being sliced open and blood
Nope, not
coming out
really.
of their body and it's showing their organs or something. You know what I mean? Like that's
Nothing.
never been
No,
in the game anyways.
nothing
So,
explicit. Yeah.
mhm.
So I'm pretty confident. Also because the European rating, the PEGI rating,
Mhm.
says 16,
Mhm.
and 16 you need quite a lot to make it 16 because I
Yeah.
think wasn't Star Wars 12 usually the old ones? I think it was PEGI 12. I'm not quite sure.
I can't
Or
remember.
maybe. Oh, I think it was 12, PEGI 12. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that if it was PEGI 12, then it would have been cut probably because PEGI 12
Yes,
is rather restrictive.
it is. Yeah.
It's quite family friendly, but 16 quite a lot has room in PEGI 16.
Mm-hmm.
It only gets bumped up to PEGI 16 if there's explicit sexual content or
Yeah.
explicit violence, like actual blood and gore and things like that. So and since Final Fantasy VII doesn't really have any of these, I'm pretty sure everything is in. Also, if they remove the blood, then the Trail of Blood track in the soundtrack needs to be renamed, and that would be a shame.
Do you know what the rating was for Final Fantasy 15? Like the
Oh,
PEGI rating?
I think also 16, if I remember correctly. Let me check.
Yeah, it says PEGI 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
And teen.
So it was the same, huh? And there also was.
It's so funny that the rating says the same thing. It also has the word frenetic combat in it for 15. That's
Ah,
funny.
I see.
They
Okay.
just reuse the same description.
Yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure we don't have to worry about content.
I don't think so. All right, so we got some. I think all of the characters' wallpapers have been released on the official website, so you guys can check those out. They're beautiful. I have downloaded all of them for my computer, and I'm currently using them. I have a dual monitor set up, so I just have them on rotation. They look awesome.
Same here. With
um,
almost 500 background or wallpapers.
mhm.
Some of them Final Fantasy, some of them just random other stuff.
I also upgraded my monitor, my primary monitor, so
Oh, nice.
yeah. And then just moving on to the next thing on our list here, we have. I found an article that was recently released just talking about Final Fantasy VII on PC and when we might see it on PC. Um, Usually it's about a year after that we've seen it being released. And then they actually made a list which was quite detailed here about other Square Enix games that were released on PC, basically, and the time that they were released on PC from the original release on console. So Final Fantasy 15 came out 15 months after it originally released on November 29th, 2016 on PS4 and Xbox. So and then we've got, Octopath Traveler came out 11 months after, and Final Fantasy 12 came out 7 months after for PCs. So we've got some varying, and Dragon Quest Builders 2 actually only came out 5 months after, so that was the fastest one. But um, I'm thinking that it'll be at least a year. It might be a little bit more than a year. Just because from what we know about Xbox and how that whole debacle about the exclusivity of the game to PS4, and then it was kind of released that it said a timed exclusive for a year only, and then it's coming out on Xbox. So maybe
Well,
they'll just do a
it's not really
release.
confirmed. It's not
Yeah,
confirmed
it's
where
not.
it's
You're right.
released.
I just saw the picture. Obviously, somebody could have just photoshopped that onto the box art. But if it's
Oh,
real, then it does make
it's
sense
real.
because it's like they could release it for PC and Xbox exactly a year after at the same time,
Yeah, they could do that.
right?
But going back to the possible Photoshop, it's also available on the official Square Enix Press website, so
Okay.
it's legit, definitely. And I've heard people talk about that it might be just the exclusivity for PS4, and then a year after it comes out on PS5, then it's also not exclusive to PS4 anymore, because they
I
say
see.
PS4 exclusive, not PlayStation exclusive.
Right.
And it could also be just a PC port, and then it's also not exclusive anymore. It doesn't have to be Xbox, but I think they would be stupid to not port it to Xbox as well,
Mm-hmm.
because more sales. But the thing is, it's a Japanese game, and Xbox in Japan is negligible, I think, the sales over there.
Right.
So we'll see how the Xbox Series X will fare.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say because is the release date for that has it been released yet? Is
Holiday
it 20?
2020, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so same thing as PS5.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm sure that it is going to be coming to PC.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
It's just a matter of when, but my
Mhm.
guess is at least a year. I think it might be a little bit more than a year.
Probably. Yeah. Could be.
People were asking if there's going to be an official game guide released for the game online. I know that they made one for 15 that I bought, a collector's edition one. Obviously, after all the patches and everything, there were things that were changed and there were misprints in them and everything, but um I think that they will make one. Um that's
I'm
just
pretty sure
my
too. Yeah.
that's just my opinion. I think so. But we haven't seen anything released yet about it. Obviously they're not gonna like release it yet because it'll give away things about the game, and I think they're trying to keep everything under wraps right now. Which is why we're getting the information that we're getting, obviously, because when I bought the 15 guide, it came out before the game. Like I got it before the game. So I
Okay.
like it arrived before my Ultimate Collector's
That's
Edition.
strange. Oh, right. That's the Ultimate Collector's Edition came late, I think.
Yeah, so
A few days or a week.
I got it, so I opened it and was like looking through it. So I was just reading about it before I got the game,
Oh, okay.
which was awesome. But if they make one, I'm definitely gonna buy it. Whether I need it or not, that's not why. I love collecting things, and I have a little I have a little kind of area that I put all of my Play Arts Kai figurines and everything, and
Oh,
all of my
nice. Yeah.
and my collector's stuff. So I'm definitely gonna buy one if they do release it. I really
Me
wanted to
too,
buy the
of course.
vinyls as well for the soundtrack, but I don't have a record player, so
Oh, crap. Yeah.
I didn't buy those. But my
I'm
cousin has
waiting
a
for the
record
full.
player, so I was going to buy them so I could potentially go over to his place and visit him and then listen to them on his record player. But yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'll just wait until the full soundtrack is released and then I'll buy
yeah.
that one.
So we got. It looks like they're selling Final Fantasy VII Remake key arts for their like canvases, right?
Yes, canvases with a frame, I think,
Three
on
hundred
the
dollars.
on the Square Enix store.
Wow.
It's
The Jap
very expensive.
the
Yes.
Japanese store.
Yes, e-store, something like that.
Did you buy one?
No, no, not too expensive.
I'm
But
seeing
I
people posting like on Facebook because I'm part of a bunch of Final Fantasy Facebook groups, and these people are
Mhm.
posting about their Final Fantasy collections. You should see some of the stuff. Like they have like these huge canvases on their wall, and
Yeah,
like it's insane. I'm super jealous, but it's very
same. Yeah.
expensive. So
uh, recently invited the FF7 collector, I think he's also called that on Twitter, and he shared, I don't know, dozens over dozens of pictures from his collector's room, and it's just insane. There's so much in there.
right.
Really, it's heaven,
Hmm.
definitely. All Final Fantasy VII and 7 Remake, and of course a few other games, but mostly Final Fantasy VII. It's insane. And apparently he collected this in just 11 months.
Wow.
Like over 40K worth of merchandise. It's insane. But it's
Yeah.
also very commendable for actually going through with it with
Uh
this.
huh.
But I don't want to know how moving looks like.
Imagine. Oh my gosh.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, this one guy posted his whole collection to one of the groups, and I think that like his goal was to open like a Final Fantasy museum or something,
Ah, I see. Nice.
so people would come and be able to look at everything. And also he was trying to beat the world record so he could be
Mm.
in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest Final Fantasy collection.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah,
big goal.
right? Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
I'm just like I would never be able to do that because I can't afford that. Like video games
I
are so expensive right now. Like I
Oh, they are,
literally
yeah.
I literally, there's so many games that I haven't even played yet that I just like because the PSN sale is on. I just bought Spider-Man just like
Oh,
a few
nice.
days ago. So
Yeah, my
because
flatmate
it was
also.
$25. Like the
Yeah.
games in Canada, they're almost $100 when you add taxes
Oh,
to them and the
yes.
conversion. So, if I bought 4 games, that equals to like a new console.
Oh, boy.
So, do you know what I mean? So I just,
Yeah.
but I did pre-order the first class edition because I want the figure because I also want to do like a remake collection of stuff.
Hmm.
So I'm excited for that, but it's really expensive, like I said, with the conversion rate
It
and
is.
also the customs and the shipping and everything. It's like almost
Hmm.
$700. So
Wow, really? Seriously?
yeah,
That's
because
a
the
lot.
Canadian dollar is not worth very much. It's only like I think it's worth 65 to 70 cents
Oh,
on the
okay.
dollar plus
That's worse than before, yeah.
shipping is 89.99 American. So you
Oh,
convert that, that's like $110 Canadian.
on
Plus
top
once
of
it
the
hits
already
the
300.
border, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay for customs as well.
Hmm.
When I ordered the PlayArts Kai figures from the Square Enix website, the store, I only had to pay customs on one of them because sometimes they don't actually inspect every package. They just kind of let it through. But then I think one or two of them I actually needed to pay taxes on,
Hmm.
and it was a lot, but it's worth
Oh.
it.
Yeah, if it's worth it in the end, that's okay.
All right, so moving on, we actually got a leak from GameStat.com, which is a site that tracks new PSN releases. So they leaked the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. Um, has this been confirmed yet? Because I'm not sure if this is legit or not. I
Not
think,
officially, but
yeah.
but the something about Resident Evil has also been leaked over there, and it turned out correct. So maybe. And if I look on the GameStat site, it's just latest PSN editions. I don't know where they get the info from. Maybe from an API. I'm pretty sure. And there's also Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, but the image is missing.
It's
It's kind
like,
of strange. Yeah.
right? Um, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I'm pretty sure we'll get one.
It would be so awesome if we did get
Yes.
one. Like when I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. I thought it was when I saw it, like I was obviously like at a family gathering and I just looked at my phone because I get push notifications for certain things. So anyway, I was just like, whoa, that's awesome. And then I thought that it was actually released. Like it was
Hmm.
out on there. So
Oh.
then I just wanted to leave and go home so I could download it and play it. But then I realized after that it was just like a leak or whatever. But
Hmm.
people were complaining about the artwork, saying that it's not legit because it looks ridiculous
Yeah,
because
it
it had
looks strange.
like somebody photoshopped it,
Yeah,
basically.
it's the just a normal remake logo, and underneath the remake text, there's a framed or bordered in demo text,
It
and it
might have
looks a little
been
bit different.
like I was thinking that it is legitimate, but it could be that they just this is just like their makeshift kind of placeholder artwork for it. Like they just made
Probably, yeah.
something because they needed
Hmm.
something to post to the PSN
Yeah.
to fill out the application, So
Yep.
now
Exactly.
look, it's deleted. So it's probably that's what it was, and they're working
Hmm.
on the official artwork for it. But because people complained, maybe they deleted it. I'm not sure. Unless
That
it's
or
not real.
because yeah, that's it looks pretty real because all those other games here listed look legitimate.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's weird. It also comes out in America, Asia, Europe, and Japan, so worldwide. And the codes are also already there: CUSA 07055
Yeah.
and CUSA, blah, 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 just those four numbers, four codes. So I'm pretty sure it's legitimate. Now it's only the question when we'll get it. I'm pretty sure not this year anymore. Maybe at the start of January or maybe in February.
Yeah, people are saying on Tuesday next week, but
Not so sure. Because New Year's, there people are all out or at home with family or friends or whatever, loved ones, and most probably don't have time to play, and if you release something on a day that's kind of a holiday of sorts, I'm not sure that's the best course of action. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, people were hoping that we were gonna get it for Christmas Day,
Yeah.
but I didn't
Would have
think
been
that
cool.
was, yeah, it would have been cool, but like once I realized that it wasn't actually posted yet because I read the article, I was
Yeah.
thinking that it wasn't gonna be released like this soon.
Mhm.
Um, and they leaked the website leaked Resident Evil 3 Remake, right?
I think something like that, yes.
So when is the release date for that? Because isn't that like far off? So just because they're like posting it to this doesn't mean that it's coming out anytime soon, right? Like isn't it not until 2020 February I think that's coming out? I'm not sure. I'm
Isn't it like
checking.
a year after the second? I don't know. But what I just realized that January 7th is also a Tuesday.
It actually
Uh,
says April 3rd, 2020
I see.
for
Okay.
Resident Evil 3 Remake. So I mean like that's pretty far from now. So just
Yeah,
because, it's being posted on here doesn't mean that it's going to be released like in a
exactly.
week,
Yeah.
because these could be posted, but they're just hidden from your
Mm.
site and you can't access them. But there's still
Yep.
the information is posted there, right? Because they need to reserve it and also probably need to fill out an application that needs to be
Go,
approved and
yeah,
everything.
going
And
through certification.
exactly.
And if something's wrong, they need to fix it first,
Hmm.
and this takes time. Also, for I see that the January 7th is also a Tuesday. This would be the perfect day because of the 7 to release it.
Oh, that's true. And it's like
And
the first seventh day of 2020,
yep, exactly.
right?
And it's almost 2.5 weeks before the the Remind DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 drops.
Okay.
So we have time to, or the demo has time to breathe before Remind DLC comes out.
Yeah,
So this
and
could be something, or then February.
for those of you that don't know, also the PSN updates every Tuesday, so that's why we're saying on a
Yep.
Tuesday because yeah, just like old times when they released games on Tuesdays. The
Hmm.
PSN does that.
Exactly. Yep.
And then do you think that it will be the same demo that we've seen at all the other gaming conventions this year? Or do you think it'll
It's
be an
hard.
updated version, or what do you think?
It's hard to say. If it's the same, it's definitely from a newer build, where we
Okay.
see much more updated textures, lighting, whatever, maybe even balancing. But since it's a public demo and we're not time restricted, because as you know, you only have a limited time slot to play it at conventions. I think it was 15 minutes
Hmm.
or 20 minutes. And you need to be able to complete it in this short amount of time. But if you get a demo at home, you certainly need more time or should have more time for that. So it could be that we get the demo, the one they showed behind closed doors where Maximilian Dudes could attend. Like
Right.
the whole bombing mission, the intro, maybe only parts of the intro to save the good stuff for the release. And then just battle through the whole bombing run, kill the guard scorpion, and then it just ends. That's my prediction. Because the short one from the conventions would be a little bit too cheap, and we already seen that. We have
Yeah.
seen videos of it, playthroughs of everything. They showed it again at the Tokyo Game Show live, and it would be just milking this thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. It depends, I guess. I'm hoping that it's like you said, it's like the full demo and hopefully it's based on a newer build of the game as well.
I hope so, yeah.
Because they've changed a lot since the demo
Hmm.
came out. So if it's the older version, then it might hurt them a little bit. I don't know how
Most
much,
likely, yeah.
but
It's just not representative of the full game then.
of the full game. So I can't,
Yeah,
yeah, I can't see them doing that, but hopefully not. But we'll see, I guess.
yeah. There's just one caveat because demos tend to have much more content inside in the data
Right.
than you actually see. So that's just a treasure trove for data miners.
Yeah.
And then leaks are bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if this happens, if I see anywhere that someone started leaking stuff, hidden stuff from the demo, I'm probably going on a internet timeout or something like that because I don't want to know anything other than the officially released things stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
People were talking about online too because apparently they found out that it's 10 gigabytes.
you're right.
The
I've seen that
demo,
too.
there was information. I'm not sure how they got the information. But
Maybe also leaked from someone who knows a little bit more about PSN releases. I don't know.
yeah, I think it was in the listing or something. But
Yeah,
then somebody came to the conclusion that the total game is only 78 gigabytes or something. I can't remember
78,
how,
yeah.
or they just like guessed or used math somehow to find like 78 gigabytes. But
I'm not sure. I haven't been. I have keeping myself up to date because it's a leak. It's just
exactly.
speculation and
Yeah.
nothing hard confirmed. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay away from those for now because I only want hard facts. That's what I'm
Yeah.
interested in.
I just I don't think that that matters. You know what I mean? Like if it's
It
78
doesn't.
gigabytes, it's 78 gigabytes. Okay, but
It doesn't say anything.
as long as the game is amazing, but yeah. It's if it's
Yeah.
two Blu-rays worth of data, it's more than 78 gigabytes. I mean, like how much was the Red Dead Redemption 2 game? Do you know? I'm going to look it up
I
because
don't know
it was
by
on two
heart.
Blu-rays, but it was like the
Mm,
first game I think that came with two Blu-rays that was released, but I downloaded the digital
think so. Yeah.
version, so I don't know.
Yeah. Now the thing with disk size is also how much compressed is it, and how
Exactly.
much redundant data there is, and
Yeah, it
the
says
quality
it's
of the audio. Everything is.
150 gigabytes.
Uh, but that's installed
Yeah.
because when you play before you play a game, it has to install it and then it unpacks everything. Most data is compressed on disks so that um,
Actually, it's
it can fit.
99 on PS4, 150 for PC.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
It's 99, but the thing is like you said, it's
Ah, I
99
know.
download, but then it has to unpack all of those files and
Mm.
right. So it's definitely more than it takes up more than 99 gigabytes, I'm pretty
Well,
sure, but
PC is probably also bigger because it has higher resolution textures and maybe even
exactly.
high resolution models. Probably
Mhm.
just more data. Mostly the textures, I think. Because I doubt the PS4 and PS4 Pro can handle actual 4K textures.
I mean, a Blu-ray has 50 gigabytes of data on it.
I think one Blu-ray can handle a normal one dual layer to up to 50 gigabytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what it
are there four
says.
layers? Are there four? I think there are already four layered Blu-ray discs with which could theoretically handle 128 gigabytes or something like
Okay.
that, or 100. But I'm not sure if the PlayStation 4 is capable of handling those. But usually it's just dual layered 50 gigabytes per disc, and that's okay. That's I think that's enough.
Yeah. I am just looking forward to playing the game now, so
Yeah, me too. Oh man, I am.
all right, so that brings us to the next part. Just quickly, what we're playing right now. So, what are you playing right now, Viz?
Not much. I don't really have time to play. That's the crux of it all. My my huge problem I have. I want to play, but I don't have time because I need
Mm-hmm.
to make content, and I want to make content for all of you guys.
Right.
But when I manage to get in some time, I try to play some more Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not too far into it. I think I'm still on the second planet. And also, I've streamed Bloodborne twice for a friend. It was a private stream because
Nice.
because I was asked to stream for them. Bloodborne, they wanted to see or witness me failing over and over again.
Is it your first playthrough of Bloodborne?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've never played Bloodborne or
Oh my
Dark Souls
gosh.
before. I've only
Wow.
heard of it. So it's a pretty neat experience.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I actually loved Bloodborne. I'm similar to you. I only played one other Dark Souls game. I think it was the first one, but
Okay.
I it wasn't for me. Like I got it and I played it for a bit, but I it was only a very short
Ah,
playthrough and then I stopped playing it and then I kind of didn't play any of the other Dark Soul games. And
I see.
then Bloodborne was PS4 exclusive and when I bought
Mhm.
my PS4, like the base PS4, it was a deal. I think you chose a game or it came with
Oh,
Bloodborne
I
or
see.
something. So I got Bloodborne with it. So then that was the only game that I had. So I played that
Of
and
course, yeah.
but like you, like I was just like this is so difficult. Like honestly, there were
Mm.
times when I had to stop and literally walk away from the game because I was so frustrated from dying so many times. And I was like, I almost gave up on it. Like I almost gave up. Like I was like, I don't think this is for me. Like it's not worth me getting so mad and upset. Just like frustrated, you know? And
Okay.
then I came back to it like maybe a week later and I was like, no, this game is not winning. Like I don't care. So I'm just gonna do it. And
Mhm.
then I did it and I got so much better at it. And then I loved it so much because it was so difficult, but that challenge was really rewarding for me. And then I ended up beating it and I did everything and all the dungeons and everything. And I absolutely loved it, but it's really frustrating and it's really hard. Like they don't explain how to do anything. So at the beginning, I couldn't even figure out how to fight the werewolf thing. You wake up and
Ah, those, yes, yeah.
he's just there and he's eating a
Yeah.
corpse and you're like and then it's like, "Okay." And I'm like punching him and I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
I
have no
have
weapons. Yeah.
but I didn't know how to equip a weapon or anything. So then you die and then you go to the whatever it's called and then you
Hunter stream.
yes, and then you have a weapon, but then I didn't know how to equip the weapon either. So then anyway, it would
Okay.
yeah, but I did figure it out eventually, but it was just but it was awesome. So if you're not really enjoying it, just keep up with it. Um like when you get
Funny thing is,
frustrated, you
I
know?
I r- never really got frustrated, maybe just momentarily because something didn't go the way I wanted it to, and
Mhm.
I don't know, got stuck in a corner or
Yeah,
something like that. It was too slow, but usually I didn't rage or anything like
that's
that.
good.
So it just kept me going. But I'm still stuck at the first real boss, the Father
Oh yeah.
Gascoigne, I think it's called.
Yes. Yes.
It's
That's
I also,
hard.
also I already got to his second or even third phase, I think, where he transforms,
Mhm.
and then made just one little mistake and it was dead.
That's all it takes with that game. It's
Yeah,
like one little mistake, honestly. But
yeah,
and it's also learning the enemy patterns and then
yep,
also
exactly.
triggering the what is it called? It's like when
Do you mean
you
the visceral attacks?
yes, yes, the visceral attacks. Exactly.
Counter shooting him and then yeah. But I have problems executing those.
I know. I never used them at all when I played at the beginning because I didn't understand it, and I was like, "No, like, I just wanna
Neither did
play it,"
I.
and I tried to play it like an action game, but then eventually it gets so hard, you have to rely on those because there's
Hmm.
an ability where you do a visceral attack, you actually get your HP back from
Oh,
you
nice.
get your
Yes.
HP back. Like, you know how it turns white before it disintegrates? I'm pretty sure it turns white or maybe black, I'm not sure, but before it goes away, you can actually gain that back if you do
Oh,
visceral
I know what you
attacks,
mean. Yes, yes.
right? So then you get it
Hmm.
back. So it really helps keep you alive, like especially dodging and then trying to get behind them to be able to do
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Um, and also, I didn't really use my gun that much, but there's so much customization with your gun. You could do gun builds that your gun is so powerful it just destroys like all enemies. But I went with a strength build, so
Okay.
I didn't really focus on my gun. I used my gun for more staggering, like Because if you
Hmm.
shoot them as they're running towards you, if
Yeah,
they're open for an attack, you can shoot them. Then they're staggered. Then you go and you do a visceral attack.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, so I was doing that a lot, but some people are nuts into those games. Like you could find builds for anything online, but
Mhm.
I'm just too lazy to go back and create a new character and start all over again. So like I
Okay.
capped my character at like whatever the highest level. I think it's 249 or something like that, or 250. So
Okay. Nice. I'm still very low.
yeah.
Maybe I should level up a bit to get more defense and more health
Hmm.
for the boss battle. I think what level am I? I don't remember, but not high. Definitely not high.
So after I finished that, then I bought Dark Souls 3 on PC because it came out and I was like, this is awesome. Like I really enjoyed Bloodborne and I think that they took a lot
Hmm.
of the systems from Bloodborne and improved on them in Dark Souls 3. But
Hmm.
then I played it um so close to Bloodborne that it was like I wasn't over Bloodborne yet. Like I wasn't ready to just dive into another
Mm.
frustratingly hard game,
Yeah.
so I haven't went back to Dark Souls 3.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was on sale for a Steam sale, so I bought it and it's a lot. I'm just like, and I'm so busy like you. Like I was
Hmm.
working and then I had so much stuff going on that I'm like, when I have time off, like I just don't want to sink my time into that because it's so frustrating. I don't like feeling that way. I haven't played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order yet. I
It's
haven't.
pretty good.
Apparently it's yeah, it's really good, but it's expensive, so I'm like
Oh, I see.
I can't buy like every single game that comes out, you
Yeah,
know?
same. Well, I could, but I don't have time, so it would be a waste.
Yeah. That's like me. So I'm playing Overwatch right now. You just jump in and out and I play those games. And Dota 2, I have a friend that I play with.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And then I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, the OG game on Switch.
Oh, right, right. Came out there too.
Yeah. And Breath of the Wild. I bought the Switch a year ago and I'm still playing Breath of the Wild and Octopath Traveler. Like I haven't even finished Octopath Traveler yet. There's so much text in that game and the stories,
Yeah.
it's like I just get tired of it. So I'm like, I need a break. I love it. The music's amazing and I like the combat. I love the party system. Like I love it, but it's just I get tired of it. Like I need a break from it, you know?
Mm, I see.
And then Red Dead 2, obviously I'm playing and I just bought Spider-Man for PS4, which I've just sunk like a bunch of time into, so I'm loving that game so far.
I've heard good
Oh,
things
it's
about
really good. Yeah, it's really,
it.
really good. And it looks so good. Like I'm playing it obviously in 4K on my PS4 Pro, and it looks
Hmm.
so good that I'm just like
Just
hoping that the
marveling at the
remake
sights.
looks, yeah, like the remake can look that good, you know? Like I'm just like, oh
Mhm.
my God, it's the remake is gonna look this good. Like I just can't wait, you know?
Probably even better because it's not exactly an open world game where you have so
Exactly.
extreme far view, far sight,
Like draw distance or
draw
whatever.
distance. Yep, yeah.
Um, the thing about
And maybe you
Spider-Man is
have.
that like not every building is actually explorable,
Yeah,
you know? So
hopefully,
you
because
can't
that
go
would be
into the
insane.
buildings. Like the buildings that are open for you to go into in Spider-Man are just part of part of the quests or the side quests. Like you're
Ah,
swinging
I see.
off all the buildings and the buildings look amazing as you're swinging by, but like you can't go into them. So they're saving processing power from just it's literally like a rectangle that they
Mm.
just put HD textures on and you're flying by them so fast that they use like what is it called, like a
Motion
blur,
blur?
yeah, motion blur,
Motion
so
blur, yeah.
like they don't need to be crazy high textures,
That's true, yeah.
so it's like they're cheating, you know? So, but I'm okay with that because it doesn't serve to the game. It's not meant to be
Mhm.
like The Witcher 3 kind of open world or you know, like
Mm.
even Red Dead 2 is similar to that, but it's even more open world. Like you can go into almost every building
Yeah.
in Red Dead 2. And that game looks amazing for the fact that it's so huge. So,
Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
really looking forward to what they're going to be able to do with the remake. So,
Same.
since it's
The
open, but
trailers
it's like you said, it's not as open as
Yeah.
those games, and Red Dead 2 already looks so good, like, and it
Hmm.
just goes to show like how powerful the consoles are, like we're
Yeah.
pretty much at the end of the PS4,
Life cycle. Yeah.
and the Pro, like a lot of the games now are moving more towards the Pro, because they
Mm.
like the OG PS4 can't really keep up with.
Unfortunately, yeah. And those who still have the PS4 basic or the base
Mm-hmm.
model, they get the short end of the stick more
Yeah.
often than unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that concludes the fourth episode of the reunion of Final Fantasy VII Remake podcast. We are a bi weekly podcast, which means we're releasing a new episode every 2 weeks. We've been doing it kind of on a partial schedule whenever it seems to fit both of our schedules. With Viz, I know how busy you are with your content that you're making with Cosmo Canyon Observatory. So if you want to check out Viz and his content, you can head over to the Cosmo Canyon Observatory YouTube channel. Also, they have a Discord channel. You can find them there as well. And us here on the podcast, we're available on YouTube as well. Also, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, you can send them to our email, which is thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. That's thereunionpodcast@gmail.com. We do have a Twitter account as well, which is at reunion_podcast. We have a Facebook group, the Reunion NFF7R podcast. And we do post our podcast episodes on YouTube, so check us out there. And obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And also, if you feel so inclined, we would really appreciate it if you guys would write a review. It's the best way to support us here at the podcast, and it really helps us jump up the lists of podcasts so that it's easier to find us when you guys search us on any of the podcast mediums that you guys use. All right. So we wish you guys all the best, and hope you guys had an amazing holiday season with your families, and we look forward to the next episode. All right,
Stay
guys.
safe and take care.
Bye.